African American, 68% of African Americans live within kind of the zone of health impact of coal-fired power plants. So a number of your faces are familiar from being in this session earlier. I won't talk much about it, but I'll just give you a sense of where the coal-fired power plants are here that are worst ranked according to the study that we did, which we studied 400 coal-fired power plants throughout the country, and we ranked them based on their level of sulfur dioxide emissions, nitrogen oxide emissions, proximity to people of color, proximity to low-income communities. And the 5 plants here in Florida are the C.D. McIntosh plant in Lakeland, the Indiantown plant in Indiantown, the Stanton plant in Orlando, and those 3 ranked in F in our scoring because of their level of emissions and their proximity to our communities. Also the Crisp plant in Pensacola, which got a D-, and the Central Power and Line plant in Brooksville, which got a D+. So again, to just give you a sense of how those plants are distributed throughout your communities. And we, at our last meet where we did a teach-in around these coal-fired power plants, we actually had someone, he was a branch president in Indiantown, Tony Hester, I believe his name is. And is he a branch president in Indiantown? Yeah, no, okay. Okay, anyway, Tony Hester, I think his name is. And, well, I know that's his name. He came actually a little bit late, and he had been taking his son that morning to the doctor, and he was starting to question the fact that his son had asthma. He had a bottle of pills, a list of prescriptions, and sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide, as I talked about earlier, are both linked to, as well as some of the other emissions from the plants, are linked to asthma and increasing asthma attacks. And as I said earlier, our communities are African Americans are twice as likely to die from asthma attacks and 3 times as likely to be hospitalized from asthma attacks. And like I said, Mr. Hester had brought his grandson to the doctor that morning. He came back with a bag of pills. He also came back with a picture of his son that he felt really represented. Again, I had that in the presentation. He felt represented the impact of this disease of asthma on this child's life. It was a picture of his son standing looking at another child playing in a fountain. And he said that that's really, that exemplifies what his life is like now, or it symbolizes what his life is like now. It just in terms of always looking on, hardly getting to go, often being pulled out of school, not being able to play like the other children, not being as socially or educationally exposed because of the limitations from his severe asthma that limits his ability to really engage.